So Lohi has a question, and I think you would probably be the perfect person to probably answer this. And he said, "How do you feel about the team will mesh when Ivy comes back in terms of lineups, like the rotations, Cade, Ivy, Asar, Tobias, and Duran?"
Um, it's definitely going to be interesting. Ivy's ability to shoot, I think, kind of gives a little bit more of credence to say that he'll be a perfect fit. He was shooting, honestly, if you look at it, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was still the team's best 3-point shooter, even with Beasley's heater that he's been on this season. So he was shooting 41% from three before he went down, even in catch and shoot situations. And a quote that I really liked that I got from JB Biggerstaff earlier this year, he said, because I asked him about when they brought in Dennis Schroeder, like, how do you communicate with the guys when maybe their minutes are going to change, responsibilities are going to update? He says, if you're not prepared for that kind of update now, we haven't done our job in instilling that foundation already. You should already kind of be, prepared for these kind of things because it's for the greater good of this franchise. So I don't think it would change a whole lot based on play style. Maybe minutes will update a little bit, but I think based on expectation of what Ivy means to this team, I mean, they all rave about him constantly. Like, they still
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of love for him. He's been showing up to games. He's in practice without the walking boot. Like, they feed off a lot of who he is. And like, I don't think they're looking to get rid of him or thinking, oh, we play better without him. No, no, no. They want
No.
him a part of their future plans. So, it may take a little bit of time. Again, it all depends on when he comes back. They haven't really given a timeline of if it's going to be this season or whether he's gearing up for the playoffs. We have no idea at this point right
Mm-hmm.
now. So, we'll keep our ear to the ground and let you know. But I think it'll be a seamless fit whenever he does have to get back based on how well he's been playing.
Yeah, I'm not sure when he will come back because the Pistons haven't really quote unquote shut him down for the season or
Right.
even used the disable I think it's called like disable veteran that like if a player gets injured you can sign someone else for the remainder of the season. They haven't done that, which I don't think they will because the roster is full now. But
Mm-hmm.
um I think if you do the math, he got injured in January. The Pistons aren't going to make the playoffs. He would probably come back assuming they win a playoff series. I think that's where my timetable would be. And like even then, like what's he playing? Maybe 5-10 minutes a night? Because they'll probably be extremely careful
Right.
with him. And like you don't want to rush him back just for him to get injured again.
Exactly.
Um I'm under the just my opinion. I know some fans want him back for the playoffs. I get it. He's your second leading scorer, number two option in my personal opinion, next to Cade Cunningham. But
Mm-hmm.
um, you're gonna want him to fully recover from this injury. I don't want a 40% Jaden Ivey out there, and he's laboring his leg because it's not fully healed and like kind of rushed the rehab process. But I think if you're talking about a starting five, I think that is a starting five, and I think the only thing that I would be curious about is do you still let Asar bring the ball up the court? Or do you kind of just have him stand in the corner like he was in the beginning of the season? If you let Asar bring the ball up the court, now you got Cade and Ivy playing off ball and running around screens and picks. So that could be troublesome if you're an opposing team because Asar has shown the ability to distribute, shown the ability just to pick apart defenses. I mean, if you got a Jaden Ivey, running the floor with you, or you got a Kate Cunningham coming off a screen or a back door, like I think that really opens up the offense, not so much for Caden Ivey, but like Duran, because you kind of have to pick your poison, who you're going to guard.
100%. And like you said, you don't want to. They have a lot of momentum right now. And again, this isn't to say that they're playing better without him, but you don't want to disrupt that momentum right now just for the sake of another guy's like easing back in. Like, it would be different if it was like, okay, you're trying to ramp him up and maybe like around this time, like around February with a couple months left until the playoffs, maybe you work that in slowly, but the playoffs are right around the corner. Like, they need to be playing their best basketball. They need to be prepared for what their playoff rotations are going to look like. Throwing him in right now, even if it, like, let's say they upset somebody in the first round and they get to the second, I don't think you want to mess that up for, like you said, a 40% Ivy at this point. We saw Golden State do that with Kevin Durant in the finals, and then he got injured in the very same series, so the exact same area that he was hurt before. I don't think they want to risk that, especially for a player that's so young. You know, he's super important to what they're trying to build for the future. And obviously they want him healthy first, more so than like helping him for the team specifically. Like they understand how serious that injury was that he went through, and they want to make sure that he's 100% ready to go before they just launch him back in just for the team's sake at this point.
Yeah, I think he's just such a crucial piece to your team that, you know, rushing him back, and he could possibly get injured again if you rush him back. You don't want that going into next season. Because I was having this conversation last night because fans are still saying we need another number 2 option. I was like, you have one. He's just injured right now.
Yes.
It was like he's shooting 40% from 3. He was a secondary option. Like, I think fans maybe I told him, I said, go watch that Phoenix game. Like, he was the best player on that court defensively, offensively. Like, he brought so much energy, so much just firepower offensively that, like, you know, K didn't like really have to do as much. I think he still had a triple double in that game. I think Ivy almost had a triple double too, which I think the last time that happened, it was like Mason Plumlee and Dennis Smith Jr., which that's a name drop. If you're a Pistons fan, yeah, like, yeah, I mean, like, I never questioned my Pistons fandom. Honestly.
Yeah, again, there's that game, the Kings game, even the Orlando game that he got hurt. Even though with him getting fitted or with him getting hurt, he still ended up as the leading scorer of that game. There are going to be games for the Pistons, as we saw just this season alone, where he could be the leading scorer that scored between 20 to 30, and Cade is maybe giving you 19 and 9 assists. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, that is a perfect blend and a balance to have. It doesn't have to be Cade putting up 25, 30 shots every night. You could be able to lean on a guy like Ivy, who, again, was showing to be a 3-level scorer. I think he still draws better contact than anybody else on the team. If he's shooting around 80% from the free throw line and still shooting around 40% clip from 3, that's a dangerous duo to have. And that's honestly the emergence of one of the best backcourts in basketball. It's too soon now, but if they keep treading in this direction, it's coming sooner than later. Trust me.
Yeah, it really is. I know